Sixth graders, welcome back. We're going to take you through how to create a simple animation and get your feet wet with programming in the Scratch environment. So you've logged in, I've logged in, let's go for it. We're going to click on create. By the way, you can watch this whole screencast. I promise I'll keep it short. It's a lot to digest, I know that. So try to keep it short, and then you can watch the 5 or less minute screencast and have your catwalk or whatever you choose for your sprite to walk, and you should be in good shape here. So anyhow, first thing you want to do is rename this. I'm going to call mine Catwalk, but you don't have to. You can call yours whatever you want depending on what sprite you choose. First of all, this is a sprite. He's on a stage right here, and we're going to learn how to program this sprite or this cat to walk back and forth, and as an extended activity, you're going to be able to add sound to your sprite. Okay, first things first, if you don't want your cat or you don't want your sprite to be a cat, down here there's a little Giga looking icon you can click and choose a different sprite. So when you do yours, try to pick a sprite that has at least 2 costumes. Okay, you'll see why later on. Anyhow, I'm going to go with the cat because I want the cat. And the first thing we should learn how to do is use these little tabs across the top here in order to create blocks. So the first thing we learn is how to move our sprite. And when you click on, I chose move 10 steps. When you click this, he'll move 10 steps. In the sake of time here, I'm going to crank this up. I'm going to move him 100 steps at a time. And if you put a negative number, he'll move the other way, by the way, and move backwards. And when he gets to the edge, he runs out of room. Okay? Object of the game for us is to get our sprite to move here, and then when he hits this side, move back this way. And keep doing that repeatedly. There's a command that'll make your sprite bounce off the wall, and that's in the motion tab. There are a lot of commands here you're going to get to learn to use. For right now, I'm going to click this one and drag it out here. If on the edge, bounce. So now if I play this by clicking, he's going to go, 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 go. When he gets to the edge, he jumps. In our case, that's not good because my sprite's upside down now. If you want to change that, there's a little info icon right here for your sprite. And this is how you can change his rotation style. So if you choose this little double-headed arrow, when he gets to the edge, he'll now just flip and go in the other direction. Okay, so now we know how to do that. The reason I had you choose a sprite with 2 costumes or more is because a lot of the sprites, like this cat, notice how his left leg is forward in costume 2, right leg, left leg. So what if I want him to change that costume every time he takes a step, to make it look like he's really walking? There's a command for that. Okay, you can go into your, I believe, I'm still learning my families of blocks right here. But I believe it's the, let me take a peek here. I think it's in the looks family. Okay, it is. All right, and the command you want is next costume. So if I drag that out here, I know I want to use it, but I don't want his costume to change after he hits the edge. I want it to change after he moves every 100 steps. So if I just take these apart, I can slide this in, and now when I play this, look at, he's got his right foot forward. So now he actually looks like he's walking. Okay, so depending on what sprite you choose, you should be able to do something similar to that. Now, what if I want the cat to do this over and over again? Well, you had a motion tab, you had a looks tab. Now we can go into the control tab. And you have loops. These should look familiar from your work in the hour of coding. So if I repeat this a number of times, or in my case, I'm going to repeat it forever. If I can get this over here in the right spot. And now when I go to play this, there he goes. He's moving awful fast. Okay. If I don't want him to move quite so fast, I could change my increment of steps maybe to 20, and then you can probably see this a little easier. There we go. That's awesome. All right, so your sprite can have motion like that. Okay. Now here's one thing that most programmers do. Usually they put a little item up here that you can click to launch this, and then you can use this flag here instead. And that's in the events tab. So it's kind of traditional that you use a when clicked little deal on the top. So to start and stop your program, use the flag to start it and use the stop sign to stop it. So that's the bare bones minimum. You should be able to take your sprite and do this kind of thing. Now, as an extended activity, what I'd like you to experiment with is to try to add some sound. So maybe you have some drum beats going, or in my case, I'll have a preset sound in here that'll make the cat meow. There's a sound tab right here, and you can experiment with these sounds. Here's something really cool I want to point out. All right, you can actually run your program and add these elements and change them on the fly. So for example, if I drag this drum out here and I put this in my loop, okay, so it kind of matters when I want this to play. If I put it here, it's not going to play till he hits the edge. How about if I put it up here? After he moves, we play the drum beat. Now when I play this, I'm going to change this in real time. Okay, let's crank up my sound. Instead of a drum beat, every one I can choose. I like a hi-hat. So as the program runs, you can change these on the fly. Ooh, that's cool. So you have some freedom here, stop, to experiment with some sounds. Your instruments may vary depending on what sprite you chose, but I could add a cat meow in here instead. It's not as easy to take these apart as a guy might think. It takes a little bit of work. So I'm going to play the cat meow in here instead. Put these back in here. If I don't want one, I got to drag it back to the left. So now when I play it, I should hear the cat meow. Maybe I want this a little earlier. So now, okay, that'll get annoying. Experiment a little bit, but you should have an object that goes back and forth. As extra credit, it would be nice if you could figure out how to change the backdrop. This is kind of boring. Cat on a white stage. So try to figure out how to put something else behind them. And then we'll kind of reconvene here when you're all finished. Maybe compare some notes and see what you came up with. All right, programmers, have some fun.